Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm bringing you guys an updated makeup routine. I've been getting a lot of questions about what I do to my face, my steps, what products I use and everything. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Since the last time I did this, I think it's already been almost a year, so there obviously has been a lot of changes with the products I use and the steps. So we're gonna get into how I do my makeup routine. So the first step to my makeup routine before doing any type of makeup is skin prep. So what I use to prep my skin is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow PHA+BHA Pore-Tight toner and the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide dewdrops. This is my holy grail, you guys. I remember I got these in my birthday gift last year in October, and they were obviously minis, and once I ran out of those, girl, I went and got the full size because they're that good. And I love to use these before I do my makeup. I feel like it does makeup different. So this is what we're gonna start off with. So you don't have to put too much. I just do like a little bit and then rub this all over my face and down my neck as well, and it makes your skin feel so refreshed. Like, I do not know how to explain it, just it feels so good, girl. I let the toner sit in my skin for like about a minute, and then I go in with my dewdrops. I put 2 pumps of this on my fingers, and again I put this all over my face, everywhere. And this combo is unmatched, you guys. I literally love it. Again, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit and then we'll move on to our next step. My next step is an eye primer. This is the one I use. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I use this under my eyes because my under eyes do crease a lot. So I find that this helps me a lot because then my eyes don't crease as much with my concealer or foundation. So I definitely use this every time I do my makeup. So I like the applicator because it's like a concealer applicator and it's super easy to put under my eyes, and I'm pretty generous with it. I do put a good amount, and I also let this sit because I don't want to just right away put concealer under there. After doing my eye primer, I usually go in with sunscreen. It is a must for me to put sunscreen on. I have to, and you should too. Every time you do your makeup, or if you don't do your makeup, please put on sunscreen. It is so beneficial to your skin. So I go in with the Verse Guards Up Daily Mineral Sunscreen. This is SPF 35. And I love this one because it has a little tint to it, so it doesn't give me that white cast. And with this one, I just go in and put a little bit all over my face, and then I'll go ahead and rub this in. And like I told you guys, just rub this in so you can get everywhere, and also rub it into your ears because you need some protection on your ears as well. Okay guys, once I have my sunscreen all blended in, I then move on to my eyebrows, and I get so many questions about how I do my eyebrows, and I've been meaning to do like a little tutorial on TikTok, but I haven't done it, but we're gonna show you guys here. So you guys know there's a lot of like brow freezes, glues, all of that. I don't use any of that, you guys. All I use is literally soap. And you guys, I feel like a lot of you know this, I've said it so many times. Pearson soap, I literally got this at Dollar Tree, $1. I've had this for like, I think I've had this already 2-3 years, and look you guys, it's still like good. Like, I've been using this every day and it does not right now, and it's way cheaper than like a makeup brand brow glue or brow freeze. So I would definitely recommend using this. If maybe another product doesn't work with you, you can try this one out, and it's only $1, so it's not like you're gonna be wasting a lot of money, you know. What I do is I grab the soap and I get the Mario Badescu facial spray. You can get whichever you want. You can even use like just like a water based like facial spray. This is the Evian one. I just use this one because it's the one I have, and I spray it a little bit and I let the water be in there for a little bit, and then I grab a spoolie. This is one that I've already been using. As you can see, it has like soap in there, but I literally just like rub it on there and get a good amount of product. I feel like if you get a good amount on your spoolie like this, it gets a good amount into your brow hairs. What I do is, instead of brushing with my brow hairs, I brush against it with that soap that's on there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's all soap right there. And I'll literally brush against my brow hairs, that way it's like really in there and I can feel it already like gripping my eyebrow hairs. So this is what I do. I make sure it's like really saturated in there, and then once it's looking a little crazy girl, I go in with the same brush. I don't do anything to it, and I brush it back with my natural hair, like the way it grows, and you can already see it like start to lay down. You should let it dry a little bit before you press it down. So while this one's drying, I go ahead and do the same thing to my next brow. Again, just rub it into your soap and then brush against your eyebrow hairs, just really getting it in there, and that way your brows are gonna stay in place for much longer. Okay, so once this is pretty much dry, I go in again and brush it out. Right now it's looking pretty laid down. You guys can see it's not like lifted, but to even further lay it down, I go in with the end of my spoolie, the like handle part, and I press it against my skin, and it just makes such a huge difference. Like, look, completely pressed down. Like, you can see the difference in my brows, and this one is obviously much more in place. I laid down both brows, and now again with the spoolie part, I go at the top of my brow and I brush my hairs out just to get the shape that I want. That's how I do my brows, you guys. And I don't fill them in just because since I have blonde hair, I don't want my eyebrows to look too much darker than my hair, and they're already dark brown, so I don't fill them in at all. After I lay them down and I make sure they're fully dry, I go ahead and carve them out with some concealer, and I just put a good amount on my eye. To carve them out, I just go in with a super flat brush. I honestly have no idea where this brush is from. I've had it for the longest and it literally has nothing on it, so just a flat brush like this is gonna work. And I just go in where I put the concealer and follow the shape of my brow, and then that extra concealer, I just bring it down to my eyelid. And then I use this Real Technique brush. This is the Deluxe Crease brush, and this is what I use to blend out the concealer on my eyes because it's like super small, so it's perfect. And those are my brows. Okay, now back to my face. I do let the sunscreen sit in my face while I do my brows before I go in with any primers, but it's now time to prime. These are the two primers I use most of the time. This is the Clinique Even Pore Defying Primer. This one I only use on my T-zone because that's where I have the most pores, so I like to go in with this one. And this one goes a long way, so you really do not need that much. That's all I use. And then I blend it in between my two fingers, and then I'm able to go on my nose and, like I said, on my T-zone area. And I first like to rub it in, and then I'll go ahead and tap it in. That way it actually goes into my skin. After I put this on, I do let it sit for a little bit before I go in with my next primer, which is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. You guys know this primer. I usually go between this one and the e.l.f. one. I do feel like the e.l.f. one is a little more grippy, but this one still works really good. I go in with 2 pumps of this and I rub it in to my entire face, and just like my last primer, I go ahead and rub it in first, and then I go ahead and tap it in, and I feel like the tapping is what makes it more grippy, so I definitely do this for a little bit until I feel it getting more tacky. Okay, I know my primer is ready once I feel it and it bounces back, and that's what it's doing. So now it is time to go in with concealer. My new obsession of concealers, it has to be the Makeup Revolution IRL Filter Finish Concealer. You guys, if you guys have not tried this concealer, please go and try it. My sister put me on actually, and I absolutely love it. Ever since I tried it, I haven't been able to put it down. It's just so full coverage and it's super creamy. It doesn't dry down super fast. I absolutely love it. So this is the one I use. I am in the shade C7. It says it's a soft matte concealer, but even though it's matte, it's not like super drying. So the areas I go in is obviously my under eyes, and I do put on a good amount. Then my chin, my upper lip, my nose and my forehead just a little bit. Okay, so this is my placement of concealers. This is like my usual placement for my concealer, but if I do have a few breakouts, I do spot conceal, so I'll put some on like the most reddish areas, that way it can be covered under my foundation. And my chin usually gets red in this area even if I'm not breaking out. Not too sure, but yeah, that's, I've been breaking out a little more than usual, so we have a few to cover up. Now because it doesn't dry down super fast, I do like to let it dry just for a little bit, that way it gives you even more coverage. So this is just what I do with my hands, girl. I always start blending from my chin up. I do my under eyes last. I go in with just like a flat concealer brush. Again, girl, I do not know where this brush is from. It literally has nothing on it. I've been using it for years, but you just need a small flat brush and it'll be perfect for blending out your concealer. And y'all, look at that. It literally, oh, I love this concealer. Now to blend out my under eyes, and you guys will see the coverage on this is insane. Look, girl, I love it. That's my concealer blended. I'm not gonna blend out the spots where I spot concealed because I like to let those just dry fully, and then I just go over it with foundation, and I feel like it gives it the most coverage and they're not peeking through. So yeah, now let's go on to foundation. So for my foundation, I typically do go between a lot of different ones, so I'm just going to show you my top favorite right now. Okay, so I have 4 right here. Let me show you each one. To start off, I actually do use a concealer sometimes. It's the same concealer I just showed you guys, but this one is a shade darker. This one matches like my skin all around, and that's whenever I don't want to use like full-on foundation, I just go in with a little concealer and it's still full coverage, so it's still a good look. Then sometimes I do like a CC cream. So this is the It Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow. This has SPF in it, so I love that. This is the shade NTL Medium, so you guys can use this as well. This one I use when I don't want that much coverage. It does not have as much coverage as like a foundation. Obviously it's a CC cream, but this is a good alternative. If you guys don't like full coverage, you can definitely use this one. Now on to like more full coverage foundations. This is actually the Born This Way concealer. You guys know I feel like everybody uses this as foundation, but I absolutely love this. I use this mainly on the weekends when I want a more full coverage look because it is super full coverage. I am in the shade light beige, so yeah, you guys, I definitely recommend this one. And then for the foundation I'm going to use today, I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation. This one I am in the shade 3W1 Tawny. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the shade. I love this one. It's super good coverage as well, and it blends super good. I absolutely love it, so we're gonna be using this one today. So for this foundation, the only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't have a pump, so I have to like pour this onto my hand. I just pour a little bit, not too much, because it does like go a long way, so I'm gonna use that much. And then for my foundation brush, I'm gonna be using the Morphe M439. I love this one for blending out my foundation. It is obviously super flat and it's super condensed, so that's why I love it. I just tap on to my foundation and start blending it into my face, and I love this foundation. That is the only thing I don't like about it, that it does not have a pump, but as you guys can see, it blends out super nicely and it works well with the concealer as well. So I'm just going to be blending this into my skin. My foundation is fully blended. I did also want to tell you guys to always bring it down to your neck, that way it blends out super good and it makes it look more like skin. But as you guys can see, my unders are already creasing, but we'll fix that before we powder. So I'm done with my foundation. My next step is contouring and blush, so I now actually go in with cream and then I'll go in with powder. So for my cream, contour, and blush, I use these little palettes. They're dupes for the Makeup Forever palettes, but they're by Carla Secret. I actually got these on the TikTok shop and I love them. They're super good and they're very pigmented. So if you want a cheaper alternative, these are like $6, I think. They're on my TikTok showcase, so you guys can go and get some. I'm pretty sure they come together like in a 2-pack or separately, I cannot remember, but either way they are much more affordable than the Makeup Forever ones that are like 80 bucks. So this is what it looks like. I honestly have never used this side. I only use these 3 shades right here, and I go in with this little brush. I got this also from the TikTok shop, so I'm not sure what brand it is, but I love this for my cream contour. And I go in with these 3 shades, I mix them all together on my brush, and that's what I use to cream contour. But I just tap it in and then it starts blending out on its own. Like, it blends out super fast. And then with the extra that I have on there, I will go in on my jaw area to kind of contour that out. Always contour between your ears as well, that way it doesn't look like a whole ass line. It looks pretty like seamless and all blended together. Okay, you guys, I'm done with my cream contour and I love it because it's not too cool tone, but it's not too warm. Like, all those 3 shades mixed together is like the perfect for me. So now I'm gonna go in with blush. This is what the blush palette looks like. I love it because I have backups for my contour, which I use the most, and all of these shades are the blush ones, and I mix all of them together to give me that perfect pink shade. So we're gonna be using this, and don't mind how dirty it is, you guys. It just gets dirty with all the mixing, you know. So I go in with this little brush. It's like a cat paw. I actually got this on Shein, and I do like 1 dab of each blush color, and it's like the perfect amount. And the same as my contour, I literally just tap it in to my upper cheeks and it gives me that little like pinky shade. Now that I've done all my creams, it is now time to set my face, and I actually go between 2 different powders. So the first one I love to use is the One Size translucent powder. This is super good. I try to only use this like on the weekends though, because I feel like for everyday use it's like too much, but if I am in the mood I use this. I love this one so much, so if you haven't tried it, definitely recommend to try this one. The next one that I've been using, this is the one I use for my everyday makeup. This is the Beauty Creations powder. This is the By Filter loose powder, and this is also in the translucent shade. And again, this one is super good. I feel like it's super blurring, not as much as the One Size, but again, super good. So we're gonna be using this one today. Before I set, I do blend out my under eyes first because I'm not gonna set them with them creasing like this. So I go again with my concealer brush and I blend it out until there's no more creases, and then I'll go in with my powder. So I add a little bit to my powder puff, and then I take off the excess on my hand, and then I start setting my under eye. I make sure to really get in there because I hate when my eyes crease. So I try to avoid it the most that I can. So that's one eye done, and this is the other one done. Now we're gonna go in and set the rest of our face, again using the same powder puff. I just grab more powder, tap it off, and set the rest of my face. I am generous with my powder because if you guys don't know, I live in Arizona and the heat here is no joke, so I need to make sure my face is extra set. I finished setting my face and I'm gonna go in with all of my powders. The first thing I go in with is nose contour, and I use the Physicians Formula Matte Monoi Butter Bronzer. This is what it looks like. I barely have any of this left. It's literally empty, girl, but it's enough to do my nose powder. So I just go in with this, and I go in with this little brush. So this is the Morphe X Jeffree Star brush. It's in JS6. So this is the one I use for my nose contour. So I do under the nose of my bridge like that, and then I'll go on my nose bridge. I'll try to do like the skinniest, smallest line that I can. So I just go back and forth with this until it's like showing like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I'll do the sides of my nose, and I try to go like not on the side, more like on the top, and that's how you make it look more skinny. Blend it all the way up to my brow bone, just like that. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side, and I'll blend it down to the other lines. That way it looks more seamless. We finished our nose contour and I did some baking. Now we're gonna move on to our powder contour. I go in with this powder. It's the Jaclyn Hill's pressed bronzer in the shade Poolside. I got this at Marshall, so I don't know if you can find it anywhere else, but literally any bronzer would be good, anything that's your shade. And then I go in with this like angled brush. This is the Morphe E4 brush. I love this one for contouring, and this bronzer is a little too dark for me, so I go in with a little bit, and I'll first start tapping it in just to get it like evenly dispersed, and then I'll start to like do circular motions to blend it out good, and there's no like harsh lines. But I barely put any, and it's super dark, but obviously because it's darker than what my shade would be, but just blend it out and it is perfect. Our bronzer is now done. As you guys can see, I have much more color into my face, but now let's move on to blush. I still use the same blush, you guys. This is the Juvias but blush palette in volume 4, and this is what she's looking like. It comes with a darker pink and a lighter pink, but I just mix both of them together, and I use this fluffy brush. This is the Real Techniques blush brush, so I just go in and tap into both of the colors until I get a good amount of product, and then I go in onto my face. So I try to smile, and then I'll tap it in like this, and I'll tap lightly because this is super pigmented. I'll even like go right under my eyes because you guys know I love a pink under eye, and I feel like this is like the perfect way to achieve it as well, because it blends in to your blush and it doesn't look too crazy. But I bring it up all the way to like where my brows are, and that's like the perfect blush look to me. I even put some under my chin, and that is how I do my blush. We're basically done with like my base makeup, so because of that I do go in with this e.l.f. Stay All Night Micro Fine Setting Mist. I like this because it blends all of my makeup together, so just shake it up, and then I put a good amount of this on, then let that dry. After that has dried down, it is now time to do my lashes. So before I put on falsies, I go in with mascara. This is the Clinique High Impact Hi-Fi Full Volume Mascara, and I absolutely love this mascara. Because I am going to put falsies on, I literally do such a light layer. It's just so that they blend in with my falsies, so a little bit is good for me. Now for my falsies, I'm just going to use some random ones. I'm so sorry, y'all, but I don't know where these are from. But this is what they look like. They're like wispy cat eye lashes. Again, I'm so sorry. I don't know where they're from. I always throw away the package before like knowing the name. So yeah, any lashes, your favorite lashes, whichever ones you want to use, just pop those on. These are the lashes on. They're not too long, but they're not short either. I feel like they're the perfect length, especially for like an everyday look. It is now time to do my lips, and I always do like a nude lip. Right now, these have been my favorite lip products. For my lip liner, I use the Beauty Creations Nude X lip liner. This is in the shade XXX, so I love this one. So we're gonna go in with this, and I do overline my lips, so if you don't like that, you don't have to do it, but I do it. My lips are tiny, so this is a must for me. So I go right under, and then I'll attach it, but I don't overline all the way over here. Right here is like where my natural lip is. I just overline this part. Just like that, and then I do the same thing to the top. I only overline where my cupid's bow is, but then on the edges of my lips, don't overline that. Just match it to your natural lip, and it'll look better. After you line them, you can just fill it in. That way it's not just like a whole ass line, and that's how it looks. I'm done with my lip liner, and now it's time to fill in like the middle part of my lips. I go in with the Maybelline SuperStay matte ink. This one is in the shade Driver 55. So this is what she looks like. This is like literally the perfect shade for a nude lip in my opinion, but I just go in with the middle to the top and the bottom and blend it. It's perfect, you guys. I literally love this. and since it's matte, it dries down and it doesn't get off like a regular lipstick, which is just a plus. You can also go in with your finger and blend it in just to make sure that the lip liner and the matte ink are fully blended together. And that's what she looks like. My favorite lip combo ever. But we're basically done, you guys. Our last and final step is to fully set our face, and for that I'm gonna be going in with the One Size Until Dawn setting spray. You guys know there's so much hype around this, rightly so. This is my favorite setting powder, especially again in this Arizona heat, you guys. Once you step out that door, your makeup literally feels like it's gonna melt off, but with this I feel like my makeup is so much more secure. And obviously, yes, I sweat and stuff, but my makeup isn't like dripping down my face, you know. So we're gonna go in with this. You do have to shake it super well, that way you don't get like none of that white stuff. So we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna go in with this. I do put on a good amount because I want that makeup to stay, you know. And then right after I set my face, I dust off my powder on my nose because we don't want that to stay on. And then if there's any on my under eyes, and there we go. All right, you guys, I took off my clips and I wanted you guys to see my full face all done. I absolutely love this look, you guys. This is my go-to look. This is basically like my everyday makeup. On the weekends, what I'll do to like make it a little more dramatic is I'll put maybe bigger lashes on, maybe do a wing liner, eyeshadow, something like that, and it makes it look more like going out makeup. But for every day, this is what I do. If this is too much for you guys, like I said, you can always switch to CC cream. You don't have to do lashes. You could do like a softer lip, something like that. But for the most part, this is what I do on my day-to-day basis if I am doing my makeup. But what do you guys think? Let me know if you guys are going to recreate this look, if you're going to try out any new products. I'm going to have all the products I used on my face today in the description. That way you guys know what everything is called. But yeah, you guys, here is my updated makeup routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it gives everything you guys were needing. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget how much I love you guys, and please comment, like, and subscribe on this video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.